Hey guys, Zach here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Trendmasters Mecha King Ghidorah. Now, as I said in a previous video, Mecha King Ghidorah comes from the 1991 film Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, which I still think is a very good movie. The only thing is that there's a lot of time travel and teleportation and just a lot of things that you do kind of have to wrap your head around, but for the most part, I still think that it is a solid movie. So if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. But as for this figure, as a kid, I liked this figure a lot, mainly because this was my only figure of Mecha King Ghidorah. But looking at it now, it's not great, especially compared to the Bandai Movie Monster Series Mecha King Ghidorah. But yeah. Anyway, that's enough for that. Let's take a look at the painting on this figure. And the painting on this figure is actually not bad. So most of the body is a metallic color, which does look nice. And we do have some gold for the legs here, the tail, and the outer two heads. The inside of the wings are a brownish color. The eyes are painted red for the outer heads, and the center head is painted metallic with green eyes. The tongue is painted red on the outer heads. And yeah, that about does it for the painting on this figure. Not a lot, but it's what you would expect from Mecha King Ghidorah. So the painting gets a pass. The gold looks a little off, but again, still gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure is basic. A little below basic, but the heads are on swivels. So yeah, you can move them around. And something I used to love doing as a kid. As a kid, I would always just love to take the heads off. I don't know why, I really like doing that. Also, the tail can come off too. So, yeah. So you can have this thing. You can call it whatever you want, but yeah. That's a thing. So, yeah. But that about does it for the articulation. Not a lot, I'm not gonna lie, and I do understand why, but it's still worth pointing out, so I'd say it gets a pass and a half. I say pass and a half because the heads can still move, but yeah. Anyway, that is it for that. Now I'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure, not great. Not awful, mind you, but not great. So, yeah, I think the sculpt on the rest of the body looks good. Looks alright for a toy from 1994. There's just one thing that I don't like. Actually, I'm going to take the heads off just for this point. I think the outer heads for Mecha King Ghidorah look bad. I don't know why. To me, that just looks very ugly. The way his horns are look very bad, and all around, that face is just not pretty to look at whatsoever, but that's just me. Other than that, the sculpting on this figure is still pretty good, so I'd say it still gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing on this figure, again, is basic. So, starting off with the heads, all the scaling is detailed very nicely, and the underside of the neck looks good as well. We have some mechanical detailing here as well, which unfortunately isn't painted, but that's not really a problem, so yeah. Anyway, the center head is actually detailed very nicely. All of the mechanical detailing is there, which, again, looks nice. The detailing for the chest actually looks really good, and actually very spot on to the movie. The legs here look alright, but the calves look pretty good, and the feet, again, they just look okay. The wings, again, look very nice and very well detailed. The tails here don't look great, but not awful. It's a shame, I probably should have brought this up earlier, but it's a shame that these, bits of metal on the tail aren't painted, but that's whatever. But anyway, the detailing on the back looks very nice, and the detailing on the back of the wings look very nice as well. Also, if you want to read that, then go right ahead. And that about does it for the detailing on this figure. Not terrible. Not great, but still not terrible, so it gets a pass. And at the end of the day, should you get this, if you're a big fan of Trendmasters and all their Godzilla figures, then I'd say pick this up. I wouldn't see anything wrong with it. To me, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Trendmasters line, to be honest. You know, I never grew up with the toy line because I'm a millennial kid. But I think, you know, if you grew up with these figures back in the 90s, I feel like you might like these a lot. And, you know, yeah, and all around for collectors, you know, these are not bad. So, yeah. It's probably just mine, you know, all the Trendmasters figures I have, but I just think these figures aren't good. So, yeah. And that's just me. You know, there are probably other figures that I don't have that are really good, but out of the ones I do have, which aren't a lot, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Trendmasters line, but that's just me. If you want this figure, I don't know how much it is, but if I were to guess, it's probably not too expensive at all. Probably like, maybe like $5 at most, maybe 10, but yeah. So if you want it, I guess try hunting it down, but if not, yeah, don't get this if you don't want, but yeah. Don't rush to get this, you know, if you, you know, find a good price on it. It wouldn't hurt, so yeah. Get this if you want, but anyway, if you want to know how big he is, here he is next to Dr. Billy Grant. Alright, now that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zach out.